What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben and welcome back to the bench for another episode here on Sci-Fi Wednesdays. We're not actually going to be building anything today, guys. Instead, I wanted to do kind of an impromptu stash update because I came home from work and sitting on my front porch, I found this. This is a 1/72nd scale Razor Crest from The Mandalorian. This is by AMT, and I have been really excited to go ahead and get my hands on this particular model. Now, I know there's a couple other versions out there. There's a Razor Crest by Bandai, there's a Razor Crest by Revell, but this is one by AMT Round 2. I'm not sure how this is going to stack up because I've only seen the Bandai kit. I've never seen the Revell version, so I have no idea, but I was really excited to go ahead and see this pop up on Big Bad Toy Store. I pre-ordered it and it showed up today. I am super stoked, so I thought I'd go ahead and just open up the box, give you guys a look at what's inside, talk a little bit about the model kit itself, and we'll go on from there. Now, seeing as this is round 2 AMT, we are given the very typical Polar Lights round 2 domed base. Looks all right. I don't think I would actually use this if I went ahead and built this model. I probably would use this on another kit and I just go ahead and scratch build my own base, something like that. So let's go ahead and just open up some of these plastic parts. Already I can tell there's a lot of pieces here. Right off the bat, we have a lot of awesome looking detail. The panel lines are kind of thick. We do have a little bit of flash to different areas. Nothing a quick swipe of the jeweler file wouldn't take care of, but it's strange that we would have sprue ejector marks and flash on something that's, I think, a brand new tool. So I don't really know how that works out, but for the most part, it does look very, very nice. Lots of raised detail where there's applicable and a lot of recessed panel lines as well. So let's get you a close up here. As you can see, a lot of panel lines. We have one cargo bay door closed. We have the second one open. So that's kind of cool. I don't know if we have an interior yet with this, but we'll look at that a little bit later and then we'll move on from there. Maybe we have to scratch build something. I don't really know. This is one of the parts that just kind of sticks onto the bottom. You can see this is our opening here for our stand that fits somewhere right about here. It also has our landing gears as well. So that's kind of interesting. Overall, not a bad fit. Not a bad fit at all. The top of the Razor Crest, as you can see, again, very fine recessed panel lines, a little deeper than I had expected. And for some reason, there's this weird black, like a burn mark. I don't know what that's all about. There's no real damage though. It's just a different color. Maybe there was some sort of injection issue. I don't know, but it doesn't much matter because like I said, there's no marking, there's no divot, there's nothing there. So that's fine. Should just go ahead and prime and paint over it. Shouldn't be an issue. Like I said, raised detail where necessary. And then the rest of it is recessed panel lines. We have some really thick sprue ejection points though. Like there's some really thick sprue attachments here around the kit. So that might be trouble. I don't really know. The canopy up here looks to be very, very thin. We have a multi-frame canopy, so those are going to go on individually, so that should be just fine. Now, as you know, the Razor Crest has very large engines, two big massive engines, and you can see here they are molded beautifully. There's a lot of very nice crisp detail here, so that's awesome. Also, the interior looks to be pretty spacious, so we might be able to go ahead and stick a couple LEDs in here just for fun. In terms of the engine itself, the back section has all these really lovely areas opened up here. That's going to make this lighting a breeze for sure. All these openings should glow very nicely. The burner can itself looks awesome. It has detail on the outside as well as on the inside, so that is very cool. And then even the front of the engine, we have a nice fan blade detail here. We have some very prominent details that I absolutely love, so that is super cool. Now, for decals, we actually have two different sets. We have a set of pristine side markings, as you can see right here, very beautiful. And we also have a set of damaged or weathered markings right there. So that's kind of interesting. They would include both. We also have other pieces like this right here. I think it's a cockpit floor or some sort of flooring. We have some extra details here and there, and just an overall nice assortment of fine decals. I don't know which ones I would use, which ones I wouldn't use, which ones I would paint and all that stuff. I don't really know. But so far, it's kind of nice to be able to have two different versions. Now, our instructions look very similar to other AMT or round 2 kits I have seen. Nothing too crazy, nothing jumps out at me as being weird or out of place. We do have a very detailed breakdown here of the different assemblies. Of course, we have little notes and whatnot for the engines, for the faces of the engine, for the rear of the engine, as well as the guns. So that's kind of handy. It appears to be that this kit was designed to be a little bit more geared towards lighting it. I don't know if they're going to come out with a lighting kit at some point, but if they do, that'll be kind of interesting to see. Otherwise, we might just have to make our own, which I don't think would be that big of a problem. Now, we are given the options of having our loading ramp lowered or folded. If we put it lower, we're going to be able to see the entire interior of the loading bay, as well as the side loading hatch as well, either closed or open. We have our landing gears as well that can be extended or folded up inside. So that is also a really nice touch. The one thing I've noticed here is I don't see anything having to do with the inside of the cargo hold. I don't see any detail in there. So that might be a little bit fishy. We might have to either buy an aftermarket part or make our own. So we'll have to look at that and see what we can figure out. The engines actually look really, really easy to assemble, and there looks to be a very large area in the center of that, so we can easily put some LEDs in there. So that's going to be really great when I do get to that point. We are given a very nice looking cockpit. From what I can tell here from the instructions, not too difficult. We are given a Grogu figure as well as the Mandalorian Din Djarin figure. Everything else goes together pretty easily. It drops down inside as one unit, and it does include a little bit of detail there for the back portion. But again, I don't see anything that lists this as any sort of interior cargo bay detailing. I don't really know for sure, but I don't see it called out here, so that is a question for sure. Now, if you do intend on lighting this kit, they do give you some tips and tricks here for the engines to get a little bit more light to pass through. So that's kind of nice. That tells me that they really had the modeler in mind when they designed this kit, so maybe it's going to come together beautifully. I don't really know. Haven't built it yet, but it looks like it's going to be a really nice model to try and light. Now, on the back of the box, we have different shots of an assembled Razor Crest, showing the Mandalorian and Grogu, showing your different shots, different angles. I would actually probably say we need to dip those canopies into some future just to make sure they're nice and clear, but otherwise, it looks pretty cool. Around the sides of the box, we have different shots of the ship. We have a side shot here with a little bit of detailing. We have, of course, all of our paint guides for the cockpit and the internals, so also very, very cool. That helps a lot. And then, of course, we have our front and rear shots and our top and bottom shots right here. Also shows you kind of where to put the decals. So overall, it looks to be a very interesting model. Again, with those ramps deployed, you're going to be able to see inside very easily, so that might need to be attended to. And also the engines, if I go ahead and light these things, you can see that it would be really cool to have those kind of pulsating yellow-orange lights. That would be awesome. Maybe some internal lighting as well. You never know, but I think it might be worth trying. But that is it, guys. I just want to give you a real quick look at the Razor Crest here in 1/72nd scale by AMT. I am super stoked to go ahead and jump in on this kit, but I'm not going to do it right now. I need to go ahead and figure out a couple of extra things before I go ahead and start on this, such as a cargo bay, and then any sort of lighting, of course, being with the internal cockpit area or with the engines. Once I kind of figure that out, then I'll be able to come back and I'll be able to approach this with a little bit more direction. But for right now, until I figure those areas out, I'm just going to go ahead and put this in the stash and wait until I have enough information and then I can move forward. So we're going to go ahead and save this one for later. I do have another build coming up though, and I'm going to hopefully have a video out for you guys soon for sci-fi, but this is just going to be put in the side for right now until I can kind of figure all those little parts and pieces out. Then we'll come on back and we'll jump in on this one, get some lighting in here and just have some fun. So until our next episode, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you guys got a kick out of checking out the AMT Razor Crest. You guys know the drill. Go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool, and we'll see you back here on the next episode of Sci-Fi Wednesdays for a brand new project that I hope you guys are really going to enjoy. So until then, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.